Bullseye.
You won't want to miss this one. Bullseye, Marvel's master marksman, the man without fear's most hated nemesis, and a professional killer of love interests, Benjamin, Lester, Poindexter. In this man's hands, anything is a weapon. A playing card, a pen, a paper airplane, anything. Murder is his passion, and the goofier the weapon, the better. We've witnessed this psycho sniper's debut and some of his classic battles against Daredevil, and even with all of his hyper senses, the horn-headed hero could barely keep up. So how would other heroes manage against the maniac marksman? Let's find out. Welcome to Marvel vs. Bullseye. As is tradition on this channel, we're going to start with my favourite character, the amazing Spider-Man. And Bullseye here is actually on the side of justice. I know, yeah. In fact, he's a goddamn Avenger. Norman Osborn is one step away from ruling the world. All of America love him after Osborn landed the killing blow on an alien invasion, saving the world from the Skrull menace. Now in a position of power, the once Green Goblin has taken over S.H.I.E.L.D. and created his own crew of Earth's mightiest heroes, forging his team out of villains disguised as the good guys, such as the malicious Moonstone as Miss Marvel, the venomous McDonald Gargan as Spider-Man, and Bullseye as Hawkeye. And now our friendly neighbourhood hero Peter Parker is about to get caught in the crossfire in the Amazing Spider-Man New Ways to Die. Storm and Norman's return hasn't just shaken up Peter Parker. Harry Osborn is livid. Harry recently carved out a nice little life for himself. He's got a business, a fiancé, and for the first time in a long time, he was happy. But now the spectre of the Green Goblin lurks once again. Spider-Man infiltrates the Dark Avengers headquarters to try and find a clue about what Osborn is up to. And it's here where we first see our star psycho, Bullseye. Luckily for Spidey, the Green Goblin isn't crazy enough to let Poindexter loose. Between missions, he's got the killer locked up tightly, a last resort for when someone just really needs killing. And after Spider-Man dares make a mockery of Norman Osborn, the Goblin within decides that Spider-Man just really needs killing. Finally, enough backstory, let's just get to the killing. Bullseye has tracked Spider-Man down to a local coffee shop. He can't see him yet, only that nerd puny Parker and the Osborn kid, but the Green Goblin gives the order, and you don't have to tell Dex twice. Spider-Sense tingles hard as government goons storm the coffee bean. Bullseye could kill every innocent person in here. And he will. Hell, he'd be happy to. Unless the webhead shows himself. It really speaks to how scary Bullseye is in this universe that Norman Osborn, who knows better than anyone what Spider-Man can do, genuinely has faith that Dex can take down the wall crawler. But maybe that faith is because Osborn's thugs have a secret weapon. The militia open fire, and despite Spider's sense and agility, every bullet hits Spider-Man hard. Is this a battalion of Bullseye-level marksmen? No, the answer is far more stupid. Here's a twist. For once in their relationship, it's being Peter Parker that screwed over Spider-Man. Normally it's the other way around. When he stormed Osborn's castle, Spidey had to leave behind his camera, and upon discovering it, Norman has found out one of Spidey's deadliest secrets. Peter Parker is secretly an awful photographer. His camera tracks the frequency of a locator chip in his spider symbol, ensuring the hero is always dead center of the frame. They reverse engineer this tech into their bullets, and now they have a way of always hitting Spider-Man. He can't dodge, but he can take cover. Riddled with bullets, Peter blames his spider sense, but without his tingling, he would surely already be dead. Bullets are deadly, but Bullseye's the real danger. Spidey tries to boost his arachnid early warning system by placing spider tracers on his enemy, but guess what? Anything is a weapon in the hands of Bullseye. Spider-Man's got no way out of this one. Bullseye's got him in his sights. But the outcome isn't as black and white as it seems. Anti-Venom, the recently repowered Eddie Brock, saves the life of his greatest enemy by masquerading as a Thunderbolt soldier and spoiling Bullseye's surprise to Spider-Man. Now the hero knows how Dex's goons were winning, he can catch these killers just like flies. Look out! Here comes the Spider-Man! He hocks a chunk of webbing at the villain, but come on, this is Bullseye for God's sake. His fast hands catch the gloop and he laughs at Spider-Man's final, desperate strike. But it's Spider-Man who laughs last. Thunderbolt goons open fire, and inside the glob of web Bullseye caught is the spider symbol, the tracking chip the bullets are locked onto. Bullseye's thugs may open fire, but every shred of lead connects with Dex. So Spidey only really won this one thanks to Anti-Venom sticking his nose in. Bullseye had Spider-Man dead to rights, to the point where even his spider sense couldn't save him. Any scene of the two actually fighting had Bullseye on the offensive. All the wall crawler could do was cower and hide. I wish we had more of an actual fight before Poindexter's own weapon was used against him. But hitting Spider-Man with his own spider tracer, that was pretty boss, dude. Bullseye later has a shot at revenge during American Son, where he gets the pleasure of torturing the webhead, but that one isn't really a fight. First, Spidey gets caught infiltrating the Dark Avengers as Dex here, sticking 2 arrows in Spider-Man's legs. Then, during the interrogation to remove Spider-Man's specially made costume, Peter tells Bullseye the passphrase to unlocking his mask is "Bullseye is a douche." And Dex nearly falls for it, but the joke only leads to Bullseye having more fun with the torture. Spidey eventually escapes, fueled by rage over what Norman plans to do with Harry, and a pissed off Spider-Man is more than a match for our ace assassin. Tell you what though, Spider-Man always has bad luck with guys called Ben, doesn't he? Uncle Ben Parker, dead. Clone brother Ben Reilly, dead. Daily Bugle reporter friend Ben Urich, nephew, was a hobgoblin. Assassin Ben Poindexter, enemy.
Bullseye.
Next target, Stars and Stripes just look like a crosshair to our impeccable killer. 2 veterans are about to go head to head. Can Captain America save the day, or will Bullseye desecrate the flag? We can find out in Captain America, Streets of Poison. While our star-spangled hero tackles drugs on the streets, we find our villain, Ben Poindexter, already locked up, but not for long. At least the prison's clocked onto what he does. They give his cell the bare minimum. No pillow, no utensils, no cardboard roll in his toilet paper. Every precaution has been taken, and I applaud them for this. So often, a prison guard's stupid in comic books. But it wouldn't be much of a story if he just sat here, would it? Dex gets up and slams his face into the concrete wall. He doesn't quite break through to the other side, but he does get the guard's attention. Anything is a weapon in the mouth of Bullseye. He spits a loose tooth into the guard's eye and steals his gun. We all know where this is leading. Our main man even makes the cover of Cap issue 373, and spoilers for later, but he's holding Elektra's side. The cheeky bugger kept it. Back on the streets, Bullseye is desperate to kill someone, but if you're good at something, never do it for free. He goes back to his old place of work, hoping to reunite with his old boss. But I wouldn't bet on a good reference from Wilson Fisk. The outlaw himself is seething at the sight of Dex. Bullseye wants back in as the Kingpin's right-hand killer, but things have changed since he went away. Fisk's power grows bigger and bigger, with the likes of Typhoid Mary at his side. Does Fisk even need Bullseye anymore? Yes or no, the assassin is certainly an asset. Fisk agrees to a probationary period, and Poindexter can't wait to once again make a killing. Doing killing. Once he's clean, costumed, and replace those missing teeth. Suited and booted once more, Big Willie has a task for his sharpshooting sidekick. Find out who has been daring to push drugs in Fisk City without his permission, and murder anyone who thinks they can get away with screwing over the Kingpin. But Bullseye isn't the only one investigating the surge of drugs on the streets. Checking out the same destroyed warehouse full of nose candy, Captain America is caught by surprise by the man who never misses. Blindsided, Captain America's about to get more red than white and blue. This is so slyly crafty. Bullseye's thrown the torch high, and the spade low. Bait and Cap to deflect the flashlight and get cut open by the blade of the spade. Bullseye, you sinister bastard. Check out this cover. That star-spangled sucker is deader than disco. The flashlight bounces off the shield, but the shovel hits home, slashing into Steve's thigh. His entire left leg loses all feeling, making Cap a sitting duck for Bullseye's brutal barrage. All the hero can do is cower behind his shield, but when Cap tosses the torch, Bullseye loses sight of him in the dark. Now, hero and villain can only sneak through the shadows, both hoping they find their foe before they find him. Captain America makes it to higher ground, but that just means he'll fall harder when the villain's shots hit home. But get on to the reputation on Dex. Steve can't see who he's fighting, but he pieces it together by the man's pinpoint accuracy. Bullseye's a household name in the world of masks. Long range, Bullseye is a menace, but Captain America keeps his wits about him and keeps a shield between them long enough for backup to arrive in the form of Cap's bird, Diamondback. 2-on-1 wouldn't usually be a problem for Bullseye. Hell, he'd love the challenge, but he's still rusty after months in jail. Better bail. Even Bullseye's a weapon in the hands of Bullseye. Look at that precision landing, dude. Beautiful. Yeah, you got lucky this time, flag boy. But hey, dead hero or not, Kingpin gave Dex a job to do, and if he wants back in Tubby's good books, you'd better crack on. Oh shit, dude. Bullseye tracks down the fella flooding Fisk's streets with mega drugs. The friggin' Red Skull. Is Bullseye about to go hero and slay Captain America's arch-villain? First he's gonna mash up Skull's top henchman, Crossbones. Bullseye busts in and oh my god, he's done it! Go Bullseye! Red Skull takes one between the eyes and goes down before Crossbones even knows what's happening. Mate, with the death of the Red Skull, millions of people have been avenged, and it was all by Bullseye, of all people. Skull is down, but Bones fight on. Bullseye runs out of bullets, and just look at this dude, he's huge, mate. Crossbones' giant hands crush Bullseye's throat. But Dex never misses a trick. He spits his false tooth right into Crossbones' eye, and then he stabs the big bastard with a sigh. Mate, honestly, I love that Bullseye kept the sigh. Listen. Bullseye's the best, but he's not gonna die to prove it. Let's get the hell out of here. Grim dude, Red Skull was a Doombot, he's fine. Lame. But Bullseye doesn't know that. Bullseye thinks he's genuinely killed the Red Skull, and he tells Fisk the job is done, and even though Kingpin doesn't believe him, Bullseye still gets paid. I consider this a win. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. So, versus Captain America was inconclusive, but Bullseye had the upper hand the whole time. All Cap could do was hide behind his frisbee. If Diamondback hadn't shown up, Dex would have very likely starred Cap's stripes. Versus Crossbones though, the instant Crossbones got close, Dex was almost done and dusted. Better stick to fighting heroes who don't kill a Bullseye. But then again, where's the fun in that?
Bullseye.
Next target. Bullseye's gonna crack this skull wide open. Sorry, but the art on this story, mate, everyone seems to have the exact same face. Just know that our guy is the guy with the bullseye on his head, just like in the 2003 movie. The rather peculiar Don of the Petrillo family mafia and his Fall Guy stooge nephew have put out a huge contract on the bane of criminals everywhere, the Punisher. But mate, who's brave or stupid enough to accept a hit on Frank friggin' Castle? Bullseye! And he's not playing around. Dex immediately takes charge of the Mafia frontman, and all the guy can do is agree. I mean, when the world's greatest assassin says jump, you say how high. Bullseye believes Punisher has a man inside the organization, so he's got to clean them out before he can get dirty with Frank. Meanwhile, rival crime family the Rossies are having a meal at the steakhouse tonight. The perfect bait for our bloodthirsty gunslinger. God damn, this fella's always just been unhinged, hasn't he? What's he need all those balloons for? His origins said he was a Vietnam vet. Do you think the stuff he saw in that war drove him bonkers? Punisher was also a veteran of that same war, I believe. Bullseye scours the area and finds Punisher's secret stash, and now both stake out Luigi's steakhouse, waiting for crime time. There he is, Frank himself. But when it's time to go guns blazing, he finds his guns replaced by the balloons and a note telling him to look up. Bullseye pings Punisher with a paper plane. Last video we saw this technique take down Daredevil, so we can only assume Dex is playing with Punisher, toying with him, and this same overconfidence is what got Bullseye beaten up twice by Hornhead last time. Or maybe he's just taking the piss. Don't need to aim C4. Bullseye blows the building and the castle comes crumbling down. Easy money. You wish, you little bitch. At the coffee shop, picking up his pay, Bullseye spots a very special friend. And when the villain open fires on civilians to bait him in, Frank has no choice but to get to punishing. Bullseye steals a bus full of innocents. That's funny, dude. Taking human shield to the next level. Hey, where are all the superheroes? Aren't we in New York? Here comes the Punisher, the man without mercy. Bullseye crashes the bus into a safe house full of mafia thugs, but not to use as reinforcements. They're pawns to slow the Punisher down, and while he does mow down some criminal scum, his primary target slips away. With the help of the cops no less, crafty bastard pretends to be an innocent caught up in the carnage. Poindexter takes his pay and is helped away. Punisher is a man with resources. He tracks down one of the mafia captains and demands to know where the sharpshooting sicko's hiding, but he needn't look far. Bullseye finds Frank first, and he's going to have another go at the whole blowing Punisher to hell thing with the man's own RPG as well, the cheek. Hey, there we go. Say hi to the wife and kids for us, Frank. If only it were that easy. But Bullseye did manage to make mates with these two kids, that's something at least. Now we're finally into it. Close range is the only hope Frank has against Bullseye, but even so, the assassin isn't a pushover. Better take care of this one quick. This is the second time now we've seen Bullseye get his ass kicked by a guy with a bone on his chest. I can't tell who's winning. Every blow is matched, every drop of blood is repaid. Until finally, Frank gets a stranglehold. With nothing to throw, Dex is screwed. And of all the bastards Frank has killed, Bullseye defo deserves to get punished. But not everyone would agree. The kids Bullseye just befriended hold the RPG to punish his face. I think here that Frank not only wants to not get blown up himself, but he doesn't want to have to come back later and punish this punk. He hopes that if he puts the weapon down, he won't take up a life of crime that'll lead Punisher to his door, but nonetheless, the dumb kid buys Bullseye enough time. And he escapes in style. Once more into the breach, but this time Bullseye has a plan that'll surely leave Punisher in his crosshairs, just you watch. He's kidnapped children. How much of a bastard can you be, using the memory of Frank's dead kids to tease him into your sniper scope? And it works like a dream. Bullseye savours the kill by hitting Frank with a paralysing drug, giving him loads of time to boast all about his employers. This looks like the final end for the vengeance-seeking soldier. Dex takes Punisher's bloodied shirt as proof of his kill, but the mobsters don't buy it. Maybe they're smarter than we thought. Because the Punisher lives, while crime dies in a fire. But it takes more than that to hit the Bullseye. Get ready for an actually fun twist as well. The whole thing was a play by Bullseye to wipe out the Petrillo mob, paid for by the Rossi family. He's been playing them all against each other from the start, and his plan truly did hit the mark. The results on this one are kind of inconclusive. Bullseye and Frank swapped who was winning so often that a final winner is hard to judge. But now we know that it was all part of Bullseye's plan. I'd call Dex the overall victor. If he truly wanted Frank dead, he'd be dead. While Frank was trying, and failing, to punish Bullseye to death. Very brave fighting a hero that'll murder you the first chance he gets. But Bullseye didn't learn his lesson here.
Bullseye.
Next target. Bullseye doesn't discriminate. He'll kill a man of any age. We've got Old Man Logan's story, Moving Target. Old Man Logan actually has a weird history with Bullseye, but only as an idea. Bullseye was the last man standing in Logan's original universe when a horde of supervillains attacked the X-Mansion. But even Dex gets gutted by the best there is at what he does. However, when the assassin finally went down, So did the walls of reality. That wasn't Bullseye at all. It was Jubilee. Wolverine had been tricked into murdering his friends by none other than Mysterio, one of my absolute favourites, dude. Fishbowl had actually tricked Wolverine into slaying his fellow X-Men. So while Bullseye's face may bring back bad memories, he's never actually faced Logan himself. Until now. In Universe 616, the supervillain Uprising has a different form than it did in Logan's world. Wilson Fisk has been elected Mayor of New York, and his whole stance is very anti-superhero. Logan goes to drown his sorrows, but they're thrown a life preserver when a stranger approaches the old Wolverine with gossip that could checkmate the Kingpin. And this information does have Fisk sweating. He demands his goons find the stolen info, or else. It's all right here on this regular old pen drive, but the King runs a tight castle. It's all encrypted. Wolverine isn't too pleased that the data's coded. Could be anything on that thing. All he has is this disheveled fella's word that it's worth his time. This man used to work for Wilson at a low level, and he yanked the drive out of Fisk's computer when the mayor had an emergency. It could be incriminating data, it could be superhero secret identities, it could be Typhoid Mary nudes. All we know is Kingpin thugs have already tried to kill him to get it back. Screw it, Logan's in. Main priority is keeping the guy off the streets, but Mayor Kingpin has eyes everywhere. The man is killed right in front of Wolverine, in public. Willie's not messing around, mate. Whatever dirt they've got on the big man must be juicy. But if the Fisk thugs want the pen drive, they're gonna have to cross out the X-Man too. Good luck, fellas. Logan obviously eviscerates the henchman, but no one blabs about what all the King's horses and all the King's men are so desperate to keep the old man from finding out. The older, wiser Logan comes up with an idea to find out more about the city's gluttonous head of government, while the man himself is not happy that his goons got cut to ribbons. He's desperate, mate, and desperate men do desperate things. Like unleashing Bullseye. Wolverine visits writer Sarah Dewey, who worked with Fisk on his biography, to see if she knows any dark secrets that might be on the drive. But she's pissed as a fart, mate, that we'll get anything useful out of her. In fact, Wilson is the reason she's so hammered. Hanging with the Kingpin drove the woman right into the drink. Metaphorically, I mean, not like in Daredevil Born Again. Only, the chance to cause a bit of trouble for Fisk sobers her up right quick. At a local buffet, Dewey spills the beans. She knows that she played a key part in Fisk's rising, and she knows the kind of fella the mayor is behind closed doors. But the conversation's cut short. Bullseye throws down. He's using bottle caps to kill people. How ridiculous. How fun. Old Man Logan isn't at his peak anymore. His healing factor's slow. His senses aren't as keen as they were. He's vulnerable. He's killable. And if anyone can pull it off, it's Bullseye. Something I haven't mentioned yet is that by this point, both Bullseye and Wolverine have adamantium-laced skeletons, giving them a weird kind of kinship. You know who else has something similar? Hammerhead. What a weird trinity. Bullseye just wants Fisk's pen drive back, but Logan won't back down. This future Wolverine isn't as hot-headed as his contemporary counterpart. He fights smart, and he knows to keep Dex up close. He also talks raw shit at Bullseye, calls him a third-rate Daredevil villain and mockingly names him Lester. It blows my mind how Bullseye can make anything deadly. A toothpick launched into Logan's ear finally takes the old man down. Bullseye wins the fight, but not the war. Logan stashed the drive on his writer buddy before having a run away from Benji. This whole thing was just a distraction. But it won't take long for our eagle-eyed evildoer to pick up her trail. Fisk has ordered that Sarah is not to be harmed. Not that Bullseye gives a crap, but she doesn't mind hurting Fisk. She offers the contents of the drive to Bullseye, evidence to put Fisk away so Dex could take charge. Benjamin Poindexter, kingpin of crime. No thanks, too much responsibility. This character's always been about having sadistic fun. Tipsy Sarah open fires, but she's no Bullseye. Poindexter takes the drive and makes Sarah bleed, but he does let her live, mostly because he wants to see how Kingpin will punish her. This story's going really well for the bad guys, isn't it? Here comes Wolverine, the best there is at what he does. Seems like Bullseye's always good until the hero gets pissed off. Logan is furious that his mate's been injured, and he beats the absolute crap out of Dex. He threatens to slash him for good unless he spoils what's on the drive, but the beating was too rough. Bullseye is KO'd. Pretty clear-cut ending there, if I'm honest. Bullseye held him off well, but in the end, Logan won this one. Furious superheroes seem to be Dex's kryptonite. Daredevil got pissed off and owned him on Coney Island. Spidey rinsed him to protect Harry. And now Logan, known for his short temper, declawed Bullseye good.
Bullseye.
I think we could all use a reminder of why this guy is Kingpin's top man. So hold on to your horns, mate. Final target, the one we've all been waiting for. Frank Miller's masterpiece, Daredevil, issue 181. And while the sexpot assassin Elektra's good, Bullseye, he's magic. After a dramatic and traumatic showdown with the Man Without Fear, Bullseye once again finds himself incarcerated, whittling the days away, waiting for his boss, the Kingpin, to bust him free. But Big Willie's lost faith in his ultimate assassin. Frank Castle himself informs Bullseye that the Kingpin has a new favourite killer, and Dex is quite upset that he's been replaced. If Fisk doesn't want him, someone will. Bullseye agrees to a TV interview, but he's taken down by a severe headache. Better pop a painkiller, Poindexter. Ooh, but the only one dealing pain and killing will be Bullseye. He shoots the paracetamol into the guard's eye, always the eye with this guy, and grabs his gun. We all know where this is going. Bullseye takes the host hostage and tries to escape with only 2 bullets and a microphone, but the police helicopter has him dead to rights. Or do they? Bullseye's infallible aim takes down the gunner, and the microphone cable makes a great makeshift rope. The helicopter is hijacked and Bullseye is free once again. But before he can put the fear in Daredevil, he's got business with his replacement at Wilson Fisk's side, the ninja woman known as Elektra. The Kingpin's new right hand is currently under orders to murder lawyer Franklin Nelson of the law firm Nelson and Murdoch. But before she can spill the shyster's blood, Bullseye comes calling. Thwack, crack, chud, cresh, swatak. These two don't say a word, they just beat the shit out of each other. This might be the first time Bullseye has shown someone respect, even he knows Elektra's got it going on. But still, Elektra is just a human being. She kills because she has to, but Bullseye, he's a demon. Death isn't his mission in life, it isn't his job. It's his passion. Elektra's pretty good, but Bullseye, he's magic. And for his next trick, he sends Elektra, the love of Matthew Murdoch's life, straight to hell. The ultimate revenge on his ultimate nemesis. Look, he's a bad guy, he's the villain, so he's always gonna lose to the heroes in the end. But the thrill is in the fight he puts up, and Dex had every hero he battled up against the ropes. Bullseye has no superpowers, he's not a mutant, he wasn't bitten by a radioactive eyeball, he's just a man with really good aim. And this mundane sounding ability let him keep pace with Captain America, Wolverine, even bloody Spider-Man. My favourite thing about Bullseye though is his personality. What an absolutely unrepentant arsehole. He's a sicko who loves to hurt others, and in a world where most villains are misunderstood or just trying to help, seeing a proper bastard of a bad guy is refreshing. And now that we've seen his origins and how he handles other heroes, we're finally ready for the main event. And coming up next, Daredevil versus Bullseye.